Welcome back, Albert here. Today we're going to focus on something different. It is my intention to explore and reveal everything I can about the Númenóreans and the Isle of Númenor. In the spirit of this search, I've decided to look at the trees of Númenor. Let's begin. The trees in question were at the time referred to as Fragrant Trees, a name derived from the aromas and sweet scents that came from their leaves, flowers, fruit, and even their bark. The most famous of these came from Malinornë, brought across the sea by the elves of Tal Erisië. They were planted in many regions of Numenor, but mostly took hold and grew around the western coast of Numenor, in Nessamelda, around the haven of Eldalundië, albeit not in great numbers. From the surviving records we know of 7 breeds: Oiolairë, Lairelossë, Nessamelda, Vardarianna, Taniquelassë, Yavanna Meyer, and finally Malinornë. The first we will look at is Oiolairë, a breed you would have heard me mention in the tales of Vardarianna, although I do believe I pronounced it differently. It was green-leafed, and traditionally a broth was made from it by the Númenórean mariners to bless their ships. A broth of Oiolairë would be placed on the brow of their ships, and traditionally by a female in close relation to the ship's captain, as a symbol of good fortune or a safe return. It was why Oiolairë meant the green broth of return. It was thought of as a token of friendship with Osé and Orún, or so the Númenóreans believed. Next is Lairelossë. Now it is said Lairelossë's fragrances fill the air around Eldalundië. Little is known traditionally about Lairelossë beyond its name, which means summer snow, perhaps implying that it bore white blossoms during the summer. Next is Nessamelda. Like most, it never grew in Middleearth, and so it was lost in the downfall of Numenor. The name Nessamelda likely means beloved of Nessa, in reference to the Vala Nessa. No traditional use is known. Next is Vardarianna. This grew in the same region as the rest. However, it may have grown close to the banks of Nessamelda, the lake which connected the river Númenor. The name Vardarianna seems to derive from the name Vala Vada, Queen of the Stars, meaning crown gift. No traditional use is mentioned. Next we have Taniquelassë, which meant either high white leaf or high snow leaf. This grew mostly up on the sheltered seaward slopes of Nessamelda, but it is said it spread east into the island. And unlike most things lost after the great fall of Numenor, it was remembered in many songs. Next we have Yavanna Meyer. It grew globed scarlet fruits from its branches. Yavanna Meyer meant Jewel of Yavanna, another reference to a valor. In this example, the valor of nature and of growing things. And finally, we look at Malinornë, and one could say one of the most important of the fragrant trees, as it was one of the only breeds that would survive the downfall of the Numenor and go on to play a vital part in future events. Malinornë means gold tree in Sindarin. It could be described similar to the birch tree that grows in our world today. Their bark was smooth, silver grey in colour, with leaves that were green on top and silver underneath. Its leaves turned golden in the autumn and remained on the tree throughout the winter, falling to cover the ground in the spring. When new leaves sprouted, golden flowers were known to bloom on the branches. This tree was immense in size, especially on the Isle of Númenor. These were special trees on Numenor. Even the 6th king of Numenor, Vardarianna, the great shipbuilder and voyager, would not cut them down for his ship constructions, and that is saying something. During an early voyage, Vardarianna offered Malinornë nuts to his friend, the Noldorian king of Lindon, Gil-galad, but unfortunately they would not take root in Lindon. But this wasn't the end of their journey. The same nuts would be passed on to Lady Galadhria, who took them to Lothorien, where they grew in immense heights. This would give Lothorien the title the Golden Wood. The trunk of the tree divided into a crown of many branches, and the Galadhrin would use this space to build flets or T-line, a sort of platform or building on top of the tree, and over time help Galadhria and Celeborn establish the great city of Caras Galadhon. These are the very trees which we witnessed in the Fellowship of the Ring during the War of the Ring era. The Fellowship indeed spent the night on the flets of a Malinornë tree, and would later offer important aid to the Fellowship in the form of gifts. Let's see if you can recognize some of them. The leaves had many practical uses, including packing rations of lambos bread. It helped the whey bread stay fresh and aided its capacity to help people. The Galadhrim used the bark to make heatline, a strong fibre made of the inner bark. It was grey and silky. The Galadhrim of Lothorien used it to make ropes, which were flexible and light, yet extremely robust. Also, it may have been used to make grey elvish cloaks of Lothlorien. This reveals such a wonderful use of this tree. It shows us where Samwise got his elven rope, which aided Frodo and him on their journey, where the green leaf coverings of the lambos bread came from, which was given to the Fellowship, and the possible material used to make their elven cloaks. Furthermore, Galadhria would give Samwise Gamgee a box of soil containing a single silver Malinornë nut, which he would plant after the War of the Ring in the spot where the party tree once stood before its felling. It was the only Malinornë tree outside Lorien, and it is said the following spring and summer that the Shire became golden from the flowers, an image of times long past and a thing of beauty and wonder, a blessing and thanks which the Shire received from the efforts of Frodo, Sam, Merry and Pippin. And that ends my research on the Fragrant Trees. Now I would be remiss if I didn't mention one more tree, Nimloth, the white tree of Númenor, the tree that grew in the king's court in Lairelossë, a seedling of Celeborn, a white tree that flourished in Tal Erisië. It was a symbol of friendship between the two races, a tree that bloomed as the sun set, and these blossoms filled the night air of the royal city with its perfume. The tree Celeborn was itself a seedling of Galadhon, the tree of Tiran, a tree made by Yavanna for the elves, a tree made in the image of Telperion, one of the two great trees of old, now lost forever. Nimloth itself would be cut down and lost in 3262 SA and burned by the worshippers of Melkar, but it would be survived by a seedling saved by Isildur, which of course would become the White Tree of Gondor. It would survive down through the ages in one form or another until the time of Aragorn and his crowning as the King of Gondor. And that's it, my friends. This ends my exploration of the trees of Númenor. This was fascinating and a real challenge to research. Tolkien loved trees and held them in high regard. This is very apparent. For me, it was great to imagine the trees of his world. It really helped me to picture what Númenor may have looked like during its golden years. Now I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, comment, share and like. And if you want to see more content like this, please let me know. Goodbye for now, and may the light of Elendil guide your way.